As his wife was killed by two dogs in Brevard County. I'm Jesse Pagan.
And I'm Lindsay Sablon. He found her lying on the grass, bleeding to death. West 2's Patrick Perez is live outside the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, which is investigating this deadly dog attack. Patrick.
Yeah, Lindsay, this is a really heartbreaking story. This man says that he and his wife actually knew these dogs. They belonged to a neighbor, and he says there had been prior complaints about the behavior of those two dogs. He feels this may have been prevented.
She was a great woman. She just loved people, loved dogs more than people. And for her to go out that way, it's not right.
Donnell Smith is still in shock about what he says happened to his wife, 50-year-old Jody Cowan, in the early morning hours on Tuesday.
I looked down at her and there's just blood everywhere. Just black blood everywhere.
Smith says he had just come back to their home on Bluebonnet Drive near Cocoa after helping neighbors with something when he realized Jody and one of their dogs had disappeared. Then he heard a faint cry for help.
I saw the silhouette of the two dogs dragging my wife down the road. Off into the grass. Front of the truck down there.
Smith says he found Jody lying in a pool of blood. She had bites all over.
They come back, the two dogs come back, and they're trying to take her from it. They're trying to drag her away from it. And I pulled my knife out. And I was just swinging it one hand and holding the blood with the other, trying to stop her from bleeding.
Eventually, Smith was able to call 911. He says Jody was flown to the hospital but died from her injuries hours later.
It was brutal. It was the woman I've loved for the last 30 years, 25 years. Just ripped apart by two animals. I'll never get that image out of my mind.
According to Smith, the dogs who attacked Jody belonged to a neighbor. He says he and others have warned the sheriff's office about those dogs.
I told them that she had those two pits that get out all the time and run the neighborhood and have been aggressive towards people, and they didn't do anything about it. My wife lost her life because of it.
And Smith says he was told that the dogs were removed from the neighbor's care. We are still working to confirm that information. I did reach out to the sheriff's office to learn more about these prior complaints involving the dog's behavior. A spokesperson with the
7 News at 4. Off the top here at 4 o'clock, a South Florida family is mourning their mother killed in a horrifying dog attack. Hello, everyone. She was on her way to work when this happened.
That's right. Her husband opening up about the tremendous loss. 7's Faith Graham is live in Miami Gardens with what he has to say. Faith.
Yes, and this all comes as right now it appears as though police are still searching for the dog or dogs involved. This just one day after that woman was mauled to death in this field behind Norwood Elementary School. Right now you can see some flowers there. Her family members were here moments ago dropping them off. We also had a chance to speak to her husband for the first time.
I'm literally at my lowest right now.
Loved ones of Doreen Richards Broadbelt struggling to hold it together.
I don't know where to start. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do.
One day after she was mauled to death by dogs, not far from their Miami Gardens home. The family seen arriving to the very spot she was killed Monday morning, a field behind Norwood Elementary School on Northwest 196th Terrace.
She lived her whole life, and then this happens to her. You know? Sad, man.
It all happened as a 71-year-old mother of four was walking to work at Walmart on Northwest 27th Avenue, a place she worked for 13 years.
She cared for her family a lot. She cared for those who are in need, whether it's at work or anywhere. Somebody she actually meet and she can see the need. She try to help out, reach out.
Her husband of 20 years holding back tears as he described his wife. The family later dropping off flowers at the field in her memory. They say she often voiced her fear about the neighborhood dogs.
They're always attacking her.
Does she have a stick that I gave her to beat them?
She even gets stick. I even give her a stick.
Monday afternoon, animal control descended upon the neighborhood, swabbing dogs for DNA.
It's upsetting. You know?
From a horror film.
The it Donna Hale is referring to happened April 14th in this area of Harvey. She says she was walking back from a friend's house, and when she reached the end of her block, that's when she felt something touch her.
I turned around and then I saw the two dogs. I fell walking backwards. And then that's when they attacked me.
Donna weighs 125 pounds. She says those dogs dragged her up and down the street like she was a rag doll. No one responding to her cries for help.
They dragged all my clothes off. I was naked, just biting and biting. I can hear the bones from my skull and biting my head. It was just unbelievable to think that this may be the way that I die. And that's exactly what I was thinking right before I seen those headlights coming up the street. He shot one of the dogs, and I just heard, and then they both ran.
Another driver called 911. The police report shows the dogs were Rottweilers. One weighed 80 pounds. Donna would spend more than a month in 2 different hospitals, undergo at least 7 surgeries. Most of her left foot had to be amputated.
I'm gonna walk again. Might not have the same swag that I had before, but I will be able to walk again. It was like something from a horror film.
The it Donna Hale is referring to.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. I would like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. Blessings and safety to the Lord's elect. All right. And, more judgment from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Again, more judgment from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. The scriptures say that the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doeth he bring his judgment to light, and he faileth not, but the unjust know of no shame. So, hey, man, for all of you, especially Jake, that's why I'm talking to you, Jakes, man, who always saying what your God wouldn't do, and your God wouldn't do that, and that's wrong. God wouldn't do that. Why would God do this, and why would God do that? All right? You don't understand judgment. You don't understand the God of the Bible, right? It's Proverbs 28:5. Evil man understandeth not judgment, but they who seeketh the Lord understandeth all things, man. So, hey, man, we understand judgment. We understand that the wages of sin is death. We understand if some horrible happens to you, the Lord did it. We understand when it comes in our own backyard, man. The God of the Bible is not what Pastor Porkchop told you. God is all love. God, he doesn't hate. God wouldn't kill. That's contrary to what the scripture says, man. And we're seeing a lot of dog attacks, man. A lot. And I got a quick testimony. All right. Because, yesterday, man, I was, going to a delivery and I was on the car phone with 2 brothers, man. And, as I got to a house, I saw the beware of dog sign. And when I saw the sign, it's a typical sign that a lot of people have. You'll see a person have a beware of the dog sign, and then their dog is a damn poodle, right? And a lot of people, they have those signs to, so-called keep out intruders, okay? But when I saw that sign, I had a gut feeling, So I went to the side door. Now, the garage was open. In the back of their garage, there was a door leading to the backyard, but the backyard was open. And that door was open. And I could see the backyard, but I didn't go through it. I knocked at the side door. When I went to the front door, I knocked. And then I just kept having this gut feeling, man. I'm like, it was something about that dog, man. And then next thing I turned around and dog hits the corner, man. Now this dog is huge, man. And it's running at me, you know? And the first thing I could do was just yell. And I just said, sit, like real loud. And then the dog stopped. And then it sat, all right? And it looked at my car. Now, when the dog sat, I looked at the tag on the dog. The dog had a name. It was Judgement, all right? So once that dog saw my car running, it ran to my car and got to barking at the car, like, you know, and for about, 10 seconds. And then, it turned back around, looked at me, and then it came charging at me again. And, all I can say was, Justin, sit, with bass in my voice, man. And it was a huge dog, man. And, the dog sat again. But by then, the owner of the dog ran outside like, I'm so sorry. But Yahweh Shem Yahushua was with me, man. And I feel like that's the only reason why, I didn't get attacked, man. I felt like Yahweh Shem Yahushua was with me. And I don't want to say I know Yahweh Shem Yahushua was with me. That's the only reason why, I didn't get attacked, man. All right, because hey, if something like that happens, it's the will of the Lord, man. Okay. All right, and I lost my train of thought because I had to pause it real quick to answer a call, but I want to get a quick preset, man, because all of these dog attacks, man, that's taking place, especially here in America, it is prophecy. And these things are going to intensify, which means these things are they're going to become the new normal, and they're going to be fatal, especially when that famine takes place. All right, especially when a lot of these individuals who feed their dogs, steaks and lamb chops, and some of these dogs eat better than humans, man. Okay. I played, videos, the last time I spoke about this topic, man. And, these dogs were eating good, but, soon you're not going to be able to keep up with that meal, that good meal, that good old meal, man. Okay. So who you think going to be that new meal? Or another individual, man. Okay. But, I just want to pull out this precept, man. This is Jeremiah 15 and 3. And it says, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay and the dogs to tear. All right. And the fowls of heaven and the beast of the earth to devour and destroy. All right. And I'm going to read it in the NLT. It said, I will send 4 kinds of destroyers against them. Against who? Against you people. Against you Jakes, man. Because these are the things that are going to transpire in Jacob's trouble, man. All right. They're happening now, but like I said, these things are going to intensify. This is just the beginning. So it says, and I will send the sword to kill, the dogs to drag away. And you heard the woman said that those 2 dogs dragged her up and down the street, man, ripping off all her clothes, man. Okay. And it says, and the vultures to devour and the wild animals to finish up what is left, man. And, even though, things like that happen, when you're dealing with the delivery, when you're in the delivery field, man, you may get ran up on by dogs. But even that was a faith booster unto me yesterday, because that dog could have got busy with me easily, but it didn't. And the fact that it sat down, and of course a dog can tell when you're scared. And, I yelled, sit. And the dog actually listened, man, But the fact that it ran to my car, barked at the car, then turned around, saw me, and then came at me, it was like, you know, shit, man, you know. But hey, man, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, you know, was with me, man, you know, and he's going to be with us when these things intensify in the earth, man. All right. This is Job chapter 5, verse 23. It says, "For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beast of the field shall be at peace with thee," man. All right. So, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 22. It says, "At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth," man. Because we know that there's going to be wild beasts, man, roaming the streets, man. We know this. Okay. We mention this a lot, man. Wild beasts are going to roam the streets, man. All right. They're going to be used to judge the people. All right. The scriptures talk about there'll be spirits that are created for vengeance. Right. And it says, we're not going to be afraid of the beast, man. All right. It says, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beast of the field shall be at peace with thee, man. All right. So when Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, you know, unleash these wild beasts on the masses of the people, they're going to be they're going to be at peace with the elect. Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. Okay. Lord Yahweh Ratazah, I'm a part of that number. All right. Because just because the Lord, you know, delivered me from that situation doesn't mean that it's going to happen again, you know. Lord willing, it does happen again, you know. But hey, man, you know, you have seen, you know, countless of people being, you know, killed and slaughtered and ripped into pieces by these wild dogs, man. And they're going to continue to happen. All right. Guarantee you, man. All right. I'm going to, you know, report on this matter again. All right. Soon. All right. But hey, you know, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to end giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Till next time, Shalom.